Alright, welcome back to another episode of the Nighttime series. This one is going to be pretty interesting, but first I want to say I'm sorry for not posting one last night. I was just in a very bad mood in the nighttime because there's a lot going on. I was very stressed out because of war, and I just wasn't in the right mood to just sit down and talk, right? So I just chose not to make a video because I didn't want to force one, so my apologies for not having a nighttime video out yesterday, but now I have one here, and it's going to be a pretty fun one. So yeah, what I want to talk about today is Spot and a decision that I have to make that I feel like other summoners have to make as well. So I just want to give my thoughts and my advice for this decision and just explain my thought process and my overall plans with Spot. And I also want to talk about Sorcerer Supreme for a little bit because you know what? I took her to rank 4 and I did my first ever war boss fight with her and it was a very fun time. So I just want to talk about her for a little bit and yeah, let's not waste any time and let's get into it. So Spot is really popular right now and for good reason. He's a very solid champion, very fun to play, very incredible in battlegrounds especially. And I feel like this champion is just very solid overall. However, there's a bit of a catch to Spot, as in he really wants to be awakened, and if not that, then Sig 200 for sure. So there is a lot of people opening this feature right now that have pulled Spot, but probably just can't get the awakened ability just yet, right? They don't have enough shards to do it, but let's say they have an awakening gem. And that's the situation that I'm in, right? I don't have any shards right now. I'll get some more as I just do content, right? But I also have a generic gem just sitting there, right? No one's name is claimed to it. There is just no use for it so far for me. And so this is where the situation comes into play, because I have this gem. I could just use it on Spot right now and fully unlock the character, because right now my 6-star rank 3 on dupe Spot is just terrible. He is, in my opinion, not good at all if he's unawakened. He does have some nice utility, but the damage output is just horrid. It is just abysmal. It is trash, man. But when he's awakened, he becomes an absolute monster. And I have a 565 5-star Spot. I'm fortunate enough to have one and have it at 6200. So I just use him over the 6-star rank 3 all the time. So my situation here, and I feel like the situation is the same for a lot of people, if you have a Spot unawakened and you have a gem, should you use a gem on Spot or should you just wait until you open more feature crystals? And here is my advice and here's my plan. So I understand that you will probably pull them again in the feature crystal if you're opening them more. If you're opening every single crystal shard that you get for this current feature, you'll probably have 40 or 50 more, I would say. It just depends on how much you play battlegrounds, Alliance War, things like that, right? But the big thing here is Spot is a champion that wants Sig 200. So if you awaken him now and just put 86 into him, and as you open the crystals you pull him again, those 20 signature levels are not a waste. They are honestly a pretty good value, and they are a big one from the feature crystal. So if you want to use Spot immediately, I would just not hesitate and I would just awaken him with the gem 100%, because even if you pull him again, it might hurt that you use a gem on him, right? But you still get the signature stones, which is a very good I guess consolation prize. And you'll just build up Sigs instead of having a first time awakening. And I feel like that is just pretty worth it overall, because you at least get to use your Spot way sooner than you originally would. Because Spot unawakened is just, in my opinion, not worth using at all. So you might have to put your Spot on the bench for a very long time until you pull him naturally. And my answer may differ depending on your progression level. For me, awakening gems aren't too rare, so I can just get another one pretty easily with Incursion Zone 25 and things like that. But the thing is, I just do not want to wait to use Spot, because I don't want to have to just let him ride the bench for a very long time until I pull him naturally, because I don't know when that's going to be. It might be in a month, it might be tomorrow, it might be in 2 months, right? So I just don't really want to just wait and just risk it. I'd rather just put the gem in him and then just have a lot of fun with the champion right now, because he is very popular right now. And as a content creator, I can make a lot of cool videos on him as a 6-star rank 3 fully awakened, and that just feels a lot cooler than doing the 5-star one, right? I don't mind making content on 5 stars, but it's just cooler for the 6-star, But for the regular player, I feel like it's still the same case. If you have an immediate use for the character, do not waste any time. Just give him the gem. He deserves it. He's worth it. He needs it. Trust me, he needs it, right? And even if you take him to Sig 140, right, and you pull him the next day, you still at least get the signature stones, man. So it's honestly fine. And gems come and go. Like gems come and go. They are very like obtainable to get these days. So I wouldn't even feel too bad about it if like you get him in a week later, right? Because you at least had that 1 week period of playing him while he was awakened, right? And like that was like 1 week that you didn't have access to him. So in my personal opinion, I just feel like you shouldn't waste time. You should just awaken spot if you want to. Like I'm only hesitant because I don't know if I love the character or not. Like I'm a much bigger Cassie Lang fan. I think she is pretty much better than him overall, but I still like want to use the champion, so that's why I'm like kind of leaning towards just like giving him the gem. But yeah, I just want to talk about that for a little bit because, well, not a little bit, I'm just seeing the time right now. I talked about it for a long time, but yeah, it was just like something that I was like debating in my head. But now let's move on to Sorcerer Supreme. So I'm honestly a big fan of Sorcerer Supreme. She is just a ton of fun to play. She is very cool with Mystic Dispersion, man. Like the damage output is nice. The power back is just insanity. And she is so good for this current war meta, man. I cannot wait to use her more. I think like every Cosmic boss, we will be using Sorcerer Supreme. And I am the rank 4 Sorcerer guy, so I will be like getting all the bosses pretty much. Which feels pretty cool because you know what? It's been a while since I've taken like a lot of bosses. Back in Unstoppable Armor, I took like almost all the Nimrod bosses with long shot, and that was pretty fun. So yeah, I cannot wait to like do more bosses again because it's just a very fun time. The pressure is pretty insane though, especially in like close wars, but it feels really good to like solo the boss and just like, do like one of the hardest fights on the map with like your champion. So yeah, I don't really have like a timeline for the champion, like when it comes to like my plans with her. Maybe she gets a whole series, but for now, she's just a war attacker. She'll be like primarily in my war videos. So if you want to see gameplay for her, just check them out. I will do some general videos with her just because she's a very fun champion. And I feel like she is probably the most underrated Mystic right now. Like, there's a lot she can do, man. And I did not realize her damage output was that good. But like, to be fair, when I used her, I did have full boosters, but it was still some very solid damage output. And I imagine like in more practical content, war is super practical of course, but like in non-boosted content, I will just still be satisfied with the damage output. And plus, even if the damage output isn't that great, the utility is still like absolutely phenomenal, man. Like the regen on block, the slow, the armor break, it's all just very, very good overall. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this character. She gets 2 thumbs up for me. And yeah, once again, I'd like to apologize for like not doing the nighttime episode last night. I feel really bad, but I just like wasn't in the right headspace, and I just like wasn't really in the mood to just talk. I just really wasn't feeling too well. But yeah, the series is back, of course. It wasn't like a prolonged break. It was just like a very short 1-day break. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Sorcerer Supreme. In my opinion, I think she's a very underrated Mystic, and I just really like the character. I feel like she's a ton of fun, and I cannot wait to use her in War more. And let me know your thoughts on Spot and your own plans with Spot. Like, you know what? I did give my own piece of advice, but if you have other suggestions, just put it in the comments. And yeah, that's about it for me.